Okay, now I have a message for you, no matter what time it is where you live. Good morning, everybody. Aura J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we are going to talk about the Trials of Reckoning for Final Fantasy VII that is dropping in global this Wednesday. In my opinion, Trials of Reckoning is the most fun PvE content we have in the game. If you've watched my channel, you've probably heard me say that about 10 times. We're going to talk about the gear you can get from this Trials, which I think is really good. And we're going to talk about the bonus units and where I think you're supposed to use them, or how I think at least you're supposed to utilize them in that hard boss fight. Just as a preview, kind of a primer, get ready for this Trials, hopefully get hyped for this Trials, and you'll push up those leaderboards. Okay, let's talk about it all right now. Okay, now the first thing I want to talk about with this Trials is how good the Shinra Bangle is. I'm going to put a graphic on the screen, and this graphic is showing off the Shinra Bangle compared to Tidus's necklace. Tidus's necklace is the gear we got from the Final Fantasy X event, and you can see that I think they're very similar, but kind of opposite sides of the same coin. So the Shinra Bangle is a defensive piece of gear. You can see the shield type has 16 defense, 259 HP, with some accuracy, evade, and a little bit of crit rate on it. Flip that over to Tidus's necklace, and you have the barrier version with 16 spirit, 324 HP, 20 dex, and 2 accuracy. So I think you can see how the Shinra Bangle is to defense what Tidus's necklace was to spirit. Really good, and I get a ton of use out of Tidus's necklace as an anti-magic item, all the time. I farm the heck out of that event because I love Tidus's necklace, and I think Shinra's Bangle might be just as good, almost. Now, let's go look at the passive effects from these two items and show you what I mean. First of all, both of them at 5 stars give critical damage up 15. If you watched my Tifa video comparing the crit Kaiser Knuckle to the assault Kaiser Knuckle, you'll notice how important I said it was that crit damage is to critical hit builds. Just a critical hit by itself does not increase your damage all that much, but when you're critically hitting with crit damage up, your damage goes up pretty dang significantly. So I really like that stat. Maybe more so now than I did in the past. So I like that both of these have it. Now, the big difference between these two items, besides one of them being a defense item and the other one being a spirit item, is that last passive ability. Tidus's necklace has 10% magic resist. Very good anti-magic item, and I've gotten a ton of use out of it for that. Shinra Bangle has 10 defense penetration on it. Now, defense penetration has been a very powerful stat for units like Cloud, units like Tifa, who can buff it onto themselves. This is now a piece of gear that, without having to cast a buff like something like Oldoa's TMR, will just give you 10 passively, as well as that crit damage. So this is going to really increase the damage of your physical DPS bruisers. It's going to give you that defense you need to be that bruiser, and it's going to give you critical damage and defense pen. A really good item, and I think everybody should go for this if you can manage it. Now, let's put a different graphic up on the screen. So don't be scared. I know there's a lot going on with this graphic. I'm going to walk you through it and show you what I'm talking about. First of all, on the left, you see the bonus units for this event. Tifa is the extra large bonus unit. We all have Tifa. Now, pro tip right here. Even if you didn't build Tifa, even if she's level 1 in your account, you can still run her in these events. Just literally don't give her an Esper, don't give her anything that boosts her agility. Give her stuff that takes away from her agility if you can, and have her just be on your team, giving you that extra large bonus. That's a little tip you can do if you didn't build her at all, but if you built her up at all, she will be valuable for all of these fights, including the boss. At large bonus, you have Cloud, Aerith, Barret, Gargus, Engelbert, Laswell, and Rain. We're going to talk about how those units fit into a boss fight comp. You have medium Glaciella, Charlotte, Oldoa, and Yerma. The medium bonus is very important for this fight in several ways. We're going to talk about that. Then at small, you just have Fina and Surges. I'm not worried about them. Okay, real quick, before we talk about the middle, let's go to the right side of this graphic. And you see the Guard Scorpion himself's stats. Okay, boom. Notice the thing highlighted in green on the top row. He's weak to slash. As soon as you see that in this game on a raid boss or any kind of PvE boss, you think, hey, how can we slashing chain this guy to death? So I'm going to show you how I'm going to plan on doing it, and how I think it might be like the most efficient way to score points. We'll see. I'll obviously make videos of me doing it. Anyway, he's also weak to missile, and I think there probably are some like Barrett missile comps that might do a lot of work here, you know, with like big missile chains, because missile units pretty good at chaining. But we're going to focus on slash for this video. Okay, his elements. He is weak to earth. I think you just disregard that. There's no earth units in the bonus. So unless your account is just very, very earth heavy and you're planning on running an earth slashing chain team, I would disregard elements and just not even worry about them. I know he's strong to water, and so I'm going to talk about how to like use Aerith in a way that won't matter at all. Okay, look at his status effects. Note the green box around slow. He is weak to slow. Aerith brings slow. So when you can slow a unit, like a boss, and steal time, this guy, you can steal time from this guy. You can make it so this dude gets like no turns. You slow him, you have a steal time unit just there stealing his CT from him, and you can chain him to your heart's content. So let's focus on that middle section now. Let me tell you why I put these on there the way I did. Note the very top part of the middle section. I put an earth element picture, the boss, and a wind element picture. That's because in this fight, there are earth adds to the boss's left, there are wind adds to the boss's right, and then the boss is kind of in the middle. You'll see when you get in there exactly what I mean. But Tifa, a wind element unit, is the perfect unit to kill the earth element adds. Remember, in these fights, you get bonuses for killing or for hitting units with their elemental weakness. So have your Tifa kill all those adds. Notice the wind element adds on the right. If you have Barrett leveled up at all, he's the perfect unit to deal with those because he will get the element bonus for hitting those wind element units. That's a way to include Tifa and Barrett in this comp, or one or the other, and not have them break your chain that you're running on the boss. Now notice I have Cloud arrowed up to the boss here. The way I'm thinking might be a really cool strategy to take this boss down is to utilize Cloud's multi-hit attacks and his lightning slash attacks to just chain the boss down almost by himself. Now, how could he do that? Well, you have Aerith, who's another bonus unit in this fight, and you could substitute Aerith for any other unit who can either slow the boss or has Quicken, right? Another time mage. But Aerith would be ideal here because she's a bonus. So you bring Aerith in, don't worry about her doing some slashing attacks for chains. Have her slow the boss early, then have her use haste and quicken on Titus so he keeps getting turns. While your Tifa and Barrett or your, whatever your units that are on ad killing duty are killing the ads, you just keep pumping turns into Cloud so he burns down the boss, building up the chain, building up the elemental chain, getting you those bonus points. Now, steal time. Aerith cannot steal time. She does not have thief main job or sub job. But there are two bonus units down in that medium category who have thief sub job. That's Charlotte and Yerma. Charlotte for my comp is going to be the one I focus on because she's a lightning element slashing unit. If I need her to like add a lightning slash attack in between Cloud getting a turn and she doesn't need to steal time, boom, she can add that for you. And that could be pretty useful. I think if you have Cloud as a lightning slasher for this boss, a unit like Charlotte stealing time will be a very, very nice addition. If you just need more lightning slashing and you don't care about the bonus, 9S, Orlando, it shoots out, anybody could fill that role as well. They just can't steal time. Now, Yerma is the other steal time bonus unit down there in that medium bonus. The interesting thing with Yerma is if you needed to do some kind of like Tifa slashing chain to kill the boss with wind element, Yerma could bring steal time and wind element slashing attacks. Uldoa is also on that list. So if you're just one of those crazy people like Nafisha, who's like EX Yerma and has Uldoa leveled up, you might have a decent time with wind element slashing killing this boss. So that medium bonus is really, really interesting in my opinion, for all those reasons. So anyway, that's kind of my little primer on this boss. That's his stats. I think that's kind of the role that the bonus units are supposed to fill. And I hope that was useful for some people. I hope you're excited to do these trials because, guys, I freaking love trials. Unfortunately, my wife works on Wednesday like the whole day because she's a nurse, so I'm not going to be able to start them like early on stream. I'll have to be like playing on my phone while I'm taking care of my kid. What the hell, Baby J? How is Baby J thinking that his sleeping time and food can interrupt my man? I gotta teach that kid priorities someday. Once he can, listen to words. Or farm events for me. Anyway, I'll leave it on that note. If you need some Visior for any of your in-game needs, please consider using my Amazon coin affiliate link for that, or anything you freaking buy on Amazon. That would help me out a bunch. And I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.